Hi, welcome back. This unit shows you how to edit an existing student. It'll show you the main functions that you need to be aware of in the early stages. First, we click on Manage Students and we select our student. This is easier if we select the class they're in, or we can simply start typing their name. We're going to choose Michael Ellison, whose profile we've already seen. When I click on the name, I can see his profile appear, and I can click on the Edit Student button at the top of that page. Now there are three sections that we can look at. Firstly, let's look at Personal Details, the one which appears automatically. Here I can add or change any missing information. I can also change his password. Also on this screen, I can activate or deactivate him. If I, for example, clicked Deactivated and then the Save button, his login will still be there, his records will still be there, but he won't be active. In other words, his student license has been freed up for another student to use. I can always reactivate him later if he needs to use StepsWeb again, or if I want to access his records. Of course, after any change, you'd click the Save button. Now we'll look at the next section, Login Tests. I can click here to reset the spelling test, or click to set the visual recognition test. When I click Save, that means that Michael will do those tests next time he logs in. Now when we look at Learning Settings, we can see and adjust any other settings for this student. For now, I'm only going to show you the main ones that you need to be familiar with at this stage. I can adjust his course position, which is occasionally appropriate, but not normally necessary. I can select accent, specifically for this student, by overriding the school setting and choosing from one of these three. The other main function you need to be aware of at this point is that you can adjust the weekly activity goal. This is automatically set by StepsWeb based on your student's level and chronological age, but you can adjust it here as necessary. Once your student has done the initial spelling test, StepsWeb knows whether that student is well up to where they should be or needs to catch up. If they are well up to where they should be, the default weekly goal for activities is 10. If they need to catch up, it'll be set at 20. Now, ideally, this is the minimum number of online activities needed to keep that student in line with expected progress or catch them up to where they should be. We would only recommend changing in a few circumstances. For example, you might have a student who's well behind but is a very slow processor or has limited access to StepsWeb. It would be better to adjust the 20 activities downwards to a weekly goal which they can achieve. It's very easy to do. Just click on Manual and change the activities here. We'll change Michael to 15 as an example. The last setting we'll look at on this page is the medal required. The default medal for a student to move on to the next activity is a silver medal. Some schools have changed this to a gold, thinking this is a better option. We'd actually strongly advise against this. A silver medal means that the activity has been successfully completed with only one or two minor errors. A student can go back to that activity later themselves to upgrade their medal to a gold. If you change the default medal to gold, it can cause endless frustrations for students who can't move on because of a minor careless error or a mistype. We would only recommend changing the medal to bronze in very rare cases. To motivate students and reward effort, we're actually very generous with the bronze medal. We would only recommend using this as your default setting if you're working with a very high need learner and you have the time to go back to every activity with a bronze medal and redo it together. So this completes the section on editing a student. If you've made any changes, don't forget to click Save before going back.